Hi everyone, and welcome back to this new year of the S&P saga, your weekly recap of the S&P 500 index. We'll reveal the winners and losers that drove 61% of the index performance, cover 2024 results, and upcoming earnings. As usual, don't forget to subscribe to understand how individual stocks impact the S&P 500. Let's jump right into this week's review. The S&P 500 ended the year with a price return of 23.3%, slightly lower than the 24.2% return of 2023. This is another great year for index investors. The S&P 500 closed the week at 5,942.47 cents, down 0.5% from last week and losing 272 billion of market cap. Note that the week included part of week 53 of 2024 and week 1 of 2025. The PE ratio based on current price and latest earnings stands at 29.94, down 0.55 points since last week. Let's go to your gainers. NVDA is up 180.7 billion or 5.4% on investors anticipating CEO Jensen Huang's upcoming keynote at CES 2025, where he is expected to discuss next-generation semiconductors. Meta up 12.2 billion or 0.8% on no specific news. Constellation Energy is up 8.1 billion or 11.4% following the announcement of a 10-year, $840 million contract with the US government to supply nuclear power to cover 13 government agencies starting April. Vistra up 7.7 billion or 16.2% on nuclear and renewable energy demand. Uber is up 7.3 billion or 5.6% on analysts at JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs debating the impact of autonomous vehicles on its business. Chevron is up 6.8 billion or 2.6% following an asset swap agreement with Woodside Energy to enhance their LNG operations in Western Australia. Exxon is up 5.9 billion or 1.3% on no specific news. JP Morgan up 5.8 billion or 0.9% on no specific news as well. GE Vernova is up 5.5 billion or 6% on a general raise of renewable energy stocks. ABBV is up 5.4 billion or 1.7% on no specific news. Note that the company closed its acquisition of Aliada Therapeutics. Moving on to your losers. Apple down 185.8 billion or 4.8% on reported iPhone price cuts in China to counter local competition. Tesla down 68.1 billion or 4.9% following the first annual decline in vehicle deliveries in over a decade. Microsoft down 53.6 billion or 1.7% on no specific news. Note that the company announced an 80 billion investment in AI data centers for fiscal year 2025. Broadcom down 43.1 billion or 3.8% on no specific news. Alphabet is down 11.5 billion or 0.5% on no specific news as well. Netflix is down 11.3 billion or 2.9% on no specific news. Note that the Christmas Day NFL games averaged 30 million viewers. Procter & Gamble down 10.6 billion or 2.7% on no specific news. Costco down 10.3 billion or 2.5% as the company rejected a shareholder proposal to stop its DEI program. MasterCard is down 10.1 billion or 2.1% on no specific news. And finally, Boeing down 8.1 billion or 6% following the December 29th fatal crash involving a Jeju Air 737-800 in South Korea. This week, there were no changes announced to the S&P 500. Q4 2024 earnings will kick off on January 15th, but next week will remain a quiet one, with no members releasing earnings last week and no companies left to report. 3 S&P 500 members will release earnings during the week ending January 10th, 2025. Note that the markets will be closed on January 9th to observe a National Day of Mourning following the death of President Carter. Which company do you think will top the list next week and why? Let us know in the comments below and subscribe to our weekly updates. To find out why Broadcom and NVIDIA were up last week, you should watch this video next.